Hi there, Joan Kosmachuk, your seasonal color, style, and confidence coach. And I am welcoming a very special guest today, all the way from Geneva, Switzerland, Rita Aldonzo Ferreira. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. So, Rita has taken my really foundational training course in the Color Confidence series, and we wanted to talk a little bit today about her experience with that. So, Rita, even before you ever trained in color, before you got into doing this as, a color consultant, what was your relationship with color and clothing like?
Well, with clothing, I liked to uh, look good, but I didn't think a lot about color. I wore a lot of neutrals, like white, beige, blue, and I was looking more at the style parts and less about the color.
Mhm. And then you got interested in color.
Yeah, because one day I woke up and I was looking at my clothes and it looked so like bland and neutral and so sad. And I was like, something is feeling off here. And then I saw a lot of information about color analysis, and I was interested about that. I was like, oh, maybe that's the thing that I'm missing here. It's like I'm always wearing white. Mm.
Right. And did your first color analysis, did that hit the note for you in terms of feeling like, oh, yes, I've landed, here's my colors?
Yes and no. I was very surprised. I liked the experience, but I was very surprised by the results because I had a very bright palette, so very different from the white and beige and all the neutrals that I was used to wear. And uh, I was like, maybe she got it wrong
Mm,
because that's very, very bright. I'm not used to that. And it was a color analysis, a draping one, but she didn't do a lot of draping. So I was not very convinced. So even if I liked the experience and I liked the colors, I was not convinced that those were my colors.
right, right. So you decided to keep going and you got in and you did some training, right?
I did some more color analysis with other consultants.
Okay.
And I wasn't happy, and I was like, maybe I need to understand this by myself. And I was so invested at this point and so interested by these subjects that I told myself maybe I should do training in this.
Okay. So you had some training before we met,
Mhm.
and what were you doing with your color training at the point that you and I met? What had you been doing with it?
Um, I was testing my palette with my own, and I was also draping my friends, like trying to drape models to practice and um, start my business once I was confident that I could do it for others. Mm.
Right. And did you feel that confidence?
Uh, I felt confidence in the system. But at the beginning, I was like, that's it. But the more I was draping people, the more I started to see that something wasn't working. Also, with me, with my own palettes, when I was testing with my clothes, I started to see that something was a little bit off.
Mm. Right.
Mm.
And that brought you to do some more digging.
Yeah.
And you happened upon the Suzanne Caygill method of seasonal color analysis, and I guess somehow that led you to me.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you were thinking, okay, I'm trained, but you were looking for just s- to have some questions answered.
Yes, because the system I trained in, it's the 12 season system. So I the pallets are pre-made, and we just put people in the pallets. And at the beginning, I was like, maybe I don't like certain colors because it's a personal preference. But then when I started to drape other people and they were using all the colors of their palettes, some colors I didn't quite like them on them. And I was like, okay, maybe I really should dig on custom palettes so I can give a palette to a person that all the colors in this palette will work for her.
Okay,
So I just figure out it wasn't just personal preference. Some of the scholars were not working for the person. Yeah.
right. So you met me. And we started talking about the program, and what was kind of your first impressions? What were you thinking?
I was thinking that your program was very complete. Um, like it's not easy to find people that are that know the Suzanne Caygill system and that are willing to train other people in the Suzanne Caygill system. And um, you were, and also you had so much information and you knew so much things, and I was like, okay, I think I'm with the right person.
And you've taken the training. You've actually taken quite a bit of training, but you started with the sort of foundational course, which is Color Confidence, the Keys to Seasonal Color Analysis. And what was kind of your first, aha moments when we were going through the course, compared to what you had already known about color? Because you knew a lot about color from your training, but what were the big aha moments for you?
I think it was when we did the first class, and you presented all the keys, and, and it was not just color. So it was so much more. Like it was the seasons, it was the style, the line of becomingness, the color, the pigments, and I was like, oh, okay. So I just felt that before. I had like a mini puzzle for color and a mini puzzle for style, and you gave me the whole puzzle, and I could put all the pieces together, and it just made sense because I could see how everything was. How do we say it? How everything puts together. Mm. So yeah, that
Yeah.
was like, it was like it was also like, oh, this is way more difficult. I was thinking.
Right, when you're not using a formula to rely on, it does, you have to do a lot more thinking, right?
We need to have a lot more knowledge that it's just not about color. Color, it's like a big piece of it, but yeah, we need to have a lot of knowledge behind to get the whole system. Mm.
Right. Um, so what's obvious to you now that maybe wasn't so obvious to you before?
Um, that that's kind of a difficult question because the more I learn, more I understood that a lot of the things were not obvious for me before. I was like, oh, I thought I knew some things, but finally, like, uh, I didn't know a lot. I don't know. Maybe was I like I didn't understand why the box thing sometimes didn't work
Mm,
because it's like you are cool, you are warm, you are neutral, and then I was like, okay, we can we are not um, this pre-made thing. Like we are a human being, and we can be a combination of so many things, um, and that can work. And that can work on the palette. It's just not working for a pre-made palette.
right.
So I think that was like the, oh, okay, I understand now why this wasn't working for me, why wasn't working for the model. So I can have a palette that's, it's not like totally warm or totally cool or totally neutral. Like the palettes have a certain variation in them.
Hmm. Right, because we're looking at making the palette based on the person, not
Yes.
getting the person to fit into the palette.
Mhm.
And that's a huge shift, right, in
Mhm.
how you approach color analysis because you're starting not with the palette, but you're starting with the person and
Yeah.
their unique color harmony. And you had your own palette redone.
Yeah. Even just to add color quality,
Yes.
because I was used to look at the color like it's a dark color, it's a light color. I wasn't used to look at the color quality.
Mm,
That was really a shift. Mm-mm.
mm,
And
right.
yes, then you did my palette. I'm very
Yes.
happy with that.
Yeah, I can see your palette up there. Do you want to bring it down and show it to us? You've got a beautiful palette. Rita is a radiant spring. Uh, yeah, look at that. Amazing. Absolutely gorgeous. And how did that palette differ from a pre-made palette? The final
Oh,
result.
uh, like um, I think some of these colors would not be together in the pre-made palettes.
Mm,
I would have some of the colors in one palette, others in other palettes, and that explains why sometimes people are so confused because they're like, "Oh, some colors of spring work for me, but some of the colors of autumn work for me too." And um, also, I had other colors that were in my palette that are not here, like the ones that weren't working for me. Not here. So that explains a lot.
right. Yes, and we had a very well, another thing I think that is on that palette that isn't on a pre-made palette is your personal colors, right? Your skin
Yeah,
tone, your eye color, your hair color. Um,
yeah. I have
yeah.
this in my,
And it would be impossible to put those on a pre-made palette because then how would you ever find the
yes,
person to match that coloring?
there's something that isn't addressed in a pre-made palette.
Hmm.
Just don't talk about skin color. So
And
yeah.
how do you feel about having those colors? How your skin tone and your eye color and your hair color?
Um, Skin tone initially was kind of hard for me because it's not a color I was used to, but now I really, really like it and I'm happy to have it. It's very useful and I love my eye color. swan really one of my favorite colors. And the hair color also for shoes. Understanding that like this is a very interesting color for shoes. It's really really helpful. So I got rid of all my black shoes.
Yes.
I can't wear them anymore. I was like, oh yeah, they don't look very well when when I put like the brown ones, they look better. Yeah. So
Right. Yeah, that connection between your what's on top and what's on the bottom makes a beautiful color connection. So it's a very
yeah.
grounding color for you. Yeah. And that is something that is very different in how you're approaching color
Mhm.
analysis now because you are looking at people's inherent coloring and
Yeah.
matching.
Yes, it's not just giving people their colors. Is also knowing what the color do for us and how to wear it. And yeah, that it's a lot. Like and it helps a lot. I remember that with the old system, we talked about color combinations, but it was kind of like just rules. And for some people, it worked. For others, again, it didn't quite work. But this, like, um, it's me, so it's always going to work because
Right.
it was funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so personalized, right? So
Yeah.
personalized. Yeah. So, would it be fair to say that you trust your own eye more now, or at least you know why you should trust it when you're seeing something?
Yeah. How can I explain this? Um, I trusted my eye before because like my previous training was a lot about the impact of color on skin. So I already could see that. But now I really see color differently. Like I understand the pigments, I understand the color quality, and very important, and that was something that I was completely missing with other training, is also seeing what the color does for the person, what's the energy that is giving, is it matching the personality of the person, like it's not just does it look good or not.
Mhm.
And I think that that's like the cherry on top of
Yeah, it's what does the color bring out in the person, and that reveals the season to us, doesn't it?
yeah.
Um, So you also came and did some in-person practice, and you were doing palettes, and you had that opportunity to start to see the color harmony um, unfold
Yeah.
before you. And what was that like?
That was very interesting because one of my previous questions was like, okay, if you are putting colors together because they look nice with a person, will they look nice with each other? And you were like, you will see. Like with all the palettes we did, they were so perfectly harmonious. I was like, okay, yeah, they that's it. They always look good with each other because like those are our colors. So if that look good on us and if it works nature wise, it will work on the palette too. So yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think that when you're starting with a person's inherent color harmony, and then you're looking at the other colors that support that, suddenly even without trying, find that you have this beautiful harmonious palette, and every one of their colors goes together. And maybe you wouldn't normally think about those two colors combining together, but on that person, when they're added into the equation, it looks amazing. So yeah, you did some great palettes, including one for my husband, which he absolutely loves his updated palette. So that was really cool. So for someone who's already trained in color, maybe they've taken a few trainings in color, but they feel like they're still lacking confidence or they're still missing something, what would you say to them?
Okay. Training in general or like training with you? But if
Whatever
they
you.
train with you, I don't think they are lacking confidence. um, I think it takes practice. At least it's what I feel like. Sometimes, even when I did my first training, a lot of people around me, they don't understand why I did another training. They were like, oh, but you already know how to drape people. You could just go with the first training and start to do your business. And I was like, yes, but that's not what I want. I want to do it and I want to do it well. And with when I trained with you and I understood like the whole world of color analysis and how big it is, I understand why someone maybe won't feel confident right away. But I think like we need to practice and practice the things that we feel that we we understand the least, and the more we practice, the more just it comes to us. Like that's something I understood when I started like painting and experimenting with pigments, and I was like, I really don't know what I'm doing. And now and now I started to see more colors and the quality of colors, and even well, I'm working on my lab, and at the beginning I was so lost. I was like, oh my god, I just don't understand this, but I just went through and I'm organizing it, and the more I do it, the more I'm like, okay, yeah, I think I'm starting to get it. So I would say, yeah, just don't quit and keep going and practice, practice, practice.
Yes, and I think that one of the things you touched on is that this is not a one and done learning, right? There's so much to learn, and you sort of are committing to being a lifelong student because
Yes.
every client you have is going to teach you something. And
Yeah.
I know you have been doing some of the nature collages for the people that you're doing color with, and you're learning a lot from that.
Yes, like that's the point. Like there's so much to do for just one client. It's really just not about, well, your colors are here. No, we need to understand the person, look at her, find her in nature, find her colors. So, and now I get it, but it's funny sometimes. Like people around me, they're like, "Oh, you didn't start yet," and I'm like you don't know what you're talking about. I still have so much to learn and to do, but it's a nice journey. Like I'm really enjoying it, and as you said, it's like I think it's if we really love this and we really want to do it, it's a life journey. We are
Yeah.
going to learn and learn for a long time.
Yes. Yeah, I've been doing it for over a decade and I feel like every day I learn something new. So, it's that's what makes it so exciting and
Yeah,
challenging. And also it's a very living, it's about the living interaction between people and color. So there's always new things to see and learn. Maybe you meet someone who has very unique coloring or who is from an ethnicity that you've never, worked with before, or an age group that you've never worked with before, and you're suddenly getting thrown in and you have all these new things to try to figure out. But that's kind of the fun challenge of it for sure.
yeah.
So I think that um, you know this. I think you're an amazing student. You're on an amazing journey. You're going to be a fabulous color consultant. And so you'll have to look Rita up. She's in Geneva, Switzerland, our only color consultant in Switzerland at the moment. We're very happy to have her there. You can see she's in her beautiful lab. And so I know that it won't be long before you're really having to put people on a wait list for your clients. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me, Rita, today. It has been wonderful talking with you, and I know that those who are thinking about training have appreciated hearing about your journey and your experience. And just for those who maybe aren't thinking about color, but just in terms of training, but they're thinking about color in terms of their self, what would you encourage them to do?
Oh, a color analysis in YouTube. No, like, yeah, I think, well, I really wanted to train and like dig in this subject, but I I I understand that it's not for all people, but like doing a color analysis for ourselves is such life changing that I think I I would just start with that. I tried the DIY, I tried a lot of things, and it was like, yeah, that's a lot of work and a lot of time when I could just went to have a good color analysis and work on learning more about my palettes, the one that works for me. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. That's great. Well, it's always a pleasure. We wish you well in your business, and of course, you and I will continue to work together. But it's wonderful to have you here today. Thanks so much. And
Thank
for those of you who are, maybe in that same place where you feel like you're almost there in your understanding of color analysis, but you're struggling when it comes to actually working with your clients. The color confidence training is probably maybe a good option for you because it's designed to refine and to expand your knowledge of the color world and color analysis, seasonal color analysis in general. And I know that it will just equip you um, to grow in your understanding of this work and to become a much more um, customized and professional seasonal color consultant. So information is in below. And also, if you're following, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye now.